We are here today courtesy of our Tunza program for our medical camp. Our objective at TAF is to build inclusive and resilient communities where children and young people with disabilities can thrive. At least once a year we hold medical camps across all our project locations. We believe that health is a fundamental human right that every child should access, and children who have a disability are mostly denied healthcare for different reasons. One, because of stigma in the communities, inability to afford health services among their caregivers, and that's why we are here today, to make sure that you're bridging that gap. We have doctors, pediatricians, opticians, dentists. We also have the disability team to ensure that these kids are registered and get the disability card so that they can access government services. We are doing educational assessment so that the children can also have access to education by having a formal assessment that is done by an IAC.
The doctors that are here are specific to the needs of children. So every doctor, every nurse here is a pediatric nurse or doctor. Some have experience with children with disabilities. Some, this could be their first engagement. But then again, the idea is that how do you even get it in the mind of a service provider that this is what it looks like to care for this child. Well, children with disabilities have a very diverse range of health needs. So this is where we talk about them getting assessments and getting enrolled into programs like occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy sometimes.
One of the most difficult things, one is to identify these children. Two is the stigma attached to children with disability. Most parents believe in hiding their children. So even when you would have helped a child, you find it becomes a bit difficult. And then you find the parents, sometimes they have a challenge of particularly transport, to transport these children to the rehabilitation areas, because you find maybe a child is overage, or maybe 5 years, 10 years, and carrying those children even to a rehabilitation center for therapy, that is for exercises, you find they are really having a challenge. So sometimes you find these parents, they get to a level where they get into burnout, and you find those children are basically at home. So even when you come across them, you find they have really gone down such that even where you would have helped, it becomes a bit difficult.
This is my first experience with the disabled children. It has really taken my breath away. I could say I'm sad, but I don't know, because there are things that needed to be done that I couldn't do during the camp. All of them have poor oral hygiene, and they have a condition that needs to be addressed. So I felt a little bit powerless, because just telling someone, you have bleeding gums, you have cavities, your mouth is not clean. I felt like there's much more I could have done other than just address it as you have, because already they know. The other major thing that I've noticed is that these kids, they don't know how to clean their teeth, and probably the caretakers, they are overwhelmed. So giving the attention that is needed for them to brush their teeth, it's too much. Even me explaining to them, I was finding it so hard, because I have to tell them, and then the next question I know is how much. And then I tell them, and you'll see they take a step back and they say, I can't do it, I can't afford it.
Wazazi economically wako chini sana. Unapata mzazi, mtoto anahitaji hii sitting standing aid, cuff or splint, hearing aid, Hawa wazazi hawako capable kununua hizo vitu. Unapata mtoto amewekwa pale kwa kitanda, amewekwa kwa ile kiti ya kawaida, anakunjana mkono sababu ya ukosefu hizo vifaa za kutumia. Hawa watoto, mama anafungia mtoto kwa nyumba, maybe yeye ndio breadwinner wa hiyo nyumba, anaenda kutafutia watoto, huyo mtoto ameachwa tu pale kwa nyumba. Hiyo disability yao, community wanachukua advantage. Wanawatumia vibaya, kuwatuma kwenda kuwabebea drugs, kuwatuma kutembelewa na wanaume ili wapate kitu ya kukula. Juu wako vulnerable, waezi jitetea.
I don't know whether it's a parental thing, but you realize most of the parents that brought their kids are mothers. Most of them claim to be single mothers. They are still the single livelihood sources for their families. So you realize like balancing between taking care of a child with disability and a child with a chronic condition, and again seeking treatment and all that, and balancing the feeding and everything else in the household is quite a challenge for them. She tells me she's a single mother. She's a mother of 6. And she's, I think, she doesn't have a stable job. Actually, she says she's a hawker. So she has to leave the house quite early and come back late in the evening. The child seems to have a lot of dents and wounds and cuts on the head. And when I asked about it, she was like, I'm not there to take care of him, so I leave him behind with the other siblings who probably may not be able to take quite good care of that.
Up to now, there is no targeted government program that is addressing the challenges that are being faced by parents of children with disabilities. And if you do a study, you will realize that most of them are single mothers. We need to go back to the drawing board and we ask, what can we do for those that have children whose disability shall never allow them to be independent in their entire life? Can we think something about them? Because that is where the biggest challenge is. Such a medical camps, they are just a code set. For the council to register a person or a child, and then the child or the person must first undergo a medical assessment. Now, the hospitals that do the medical assessment, they charge something from 500 to 2,000 shillings per person. It has cut the cost of assessments.
Kwa wazazi wenzangu wale wako na challenge kama hii ya disabled ama tuseme special kids, wasife moyo. Juu venye huyu alikuwa akiwa mdogo, si venye yako saa hii. So Mungu yuko na anasaidia.
The Action Foundation is at the forefront to respond to the needs of children with disability. We don't do a one thing. We like living with the families at an extended period. Just today I posted that I'm here and people in Kakamega are asking, when are you coming? Meaning that we are needed countrywide, even across the countries, but we need support, we need partnership, we need networks so that we are able to spread and ensure no child with disability is left out.